So hi, Angela. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm good, Silvia. Good to
I
see
heard you
you.
got some miracle to share.
Yes, you and I have been indulging in some processes with our teachers in India. And they last year in July had announced some miracles happening in India. And then pretty soon after it happened in July, it was happening in India in the homes of people. So I thought I could share how it started to happen here in my home. To see, but the plums were manifesting liquid after I had started to have another miracle happening, which is happening in many people's homes throughout the world. And the main simple miracle is that water is being offered to the pitcher, a sacred pitcher. And in our case, it's a picture of our teachers. Some people have a picture of Jesus or a picture of a beloved spiritual teacher or master. And the water is offered to the pitcher, and then the water is transformed into a sacred form of, or energetic form of SOMA. So the water on my altar that I offered to the pitcher transformed. And I drank it thinking, oh, whatever. And then I lay down because I was getting a bit woozy. And I started to talk to myself thinking, oh, I don't know if this really is SOMA, because we were told it was happening. It was going to happen, but I wasn't sure. And I felt this sort of tiredness and this sort of slowing down, kind of, if you've ever done other substances, that same feeling. But it wasn't like the other substances that people use recreationally. It was more like, I think I might just lie down now. And this beautiful energy moved from my crown down to my tailbone, slowly down my body as I was laying down. And I'm talking to myself internally going, I don't know, is this SOMA? I don't know. And even my thoughts, they were sort of disappearing. Like literally you're trying to grasp reality, but they couldn't, which I was laughing at myself as I'm trying to debate with myself. Is this really the spiritual energy of SOMA in the water? Could this really be happening here now? And then I would just sort of flake out. And then I became quiet, which for me is a miracle, all right? I don't know about you guys, but this brain has a lot of conversations. So normally my mind is going, blee, 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 blah, 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 blah. And and that was the first miracle. The second hour, I just went, oh, and that was about it. That was the verbal diarrhea from upstairs, this upstairs. And then I was sort of in shock. So I kept on talking, saying, all right, I think this is SOMA, and it's manifested at my house. And I shared it with the group in Australia here and going, guys, I think I got SOMA and this happened. And then I kept talking to my teachers who are my divine in a physical form. I said, in the picture, I said, look, you know what my mind is like. It's going to constantly doubt and complain and question. And so I said, you've got to give me more evidence. And that's when the liquid from the plums started manifesting. And I put them down in the morning and I went out of the room, enjoy the water or to imbue the water with the energy or to give you the sacred gift through the SOMA. And it can manifest in many ways through honey or different powders. In the water, it can come through liquid, through crystals, through liquid, through sacred objects, liquid through fruit or other offerings of food. They can also consume the food and transform the food. They can consume the liquids and make other liquids manifest. That has not happened here, but I'm asking
And
them
this is
for it.
happening through the images of the image of the divine, through the pictures that you have in the altar.
Yes, but the most important thing is a conversation. So going back to the 90s when Donald Neil Walsh created Conversations with God, it's all about that. It's conversations with your divine, and your divine can be your higher self. If you have a conversation, the SOMA comes in relation to that conversation directly. They manifested in the water in the plums, and I ate the plums and it was slightly different to the water because my mind was so paranoid. So they gave me the plums and after consuming the plums, it was a whole day they were making the liquid. I then consumed them the next day. because the SOMA also manifests when you ask for you or for the others around you that you're going to share it with. And I ate the plums, and it gave me this different energy of comfort, like a deep love of myself and the body. It was like a deep peace, and also to help my mind finish the dialogue of paranoia and whatever. So after that, then there was more joy and peace and joy and peace and joy and peace. And it was like a cycle of peace, a lot of sitting around and just contemplating life, like watching trees. Or we had another person in New Zealand who has a beautiful, very large crystal, and the crystal started to manifest sacred ash.
Oh.
And but the video they took, you can hear them watching and they're freaking out. They're freaking out. They're going, oh, I mean, hey, and I saw it and I started freaking out, but I was laughing so much because they were freaking out that they realized that the ash, the sacred ash, was manifesting from this very large crystal quartz, a family of crystal quartz. So this is how bizarre it is. It's very confronting because our mind wants to go, did you look behind the picture, or did someone put something there? But it's not. It's happening too many places. Yeah. The last miracle today, the latest, was I've been talking to my sacred picture and my divine, like Donald Neil Walsh in Conversations with God. He would talk every day. So I was doing that since a child, but I do it with my sacred picture today and all day and every day. And I was meeting a friend today. So in India, they've had honey manifest on the sacred pictures or on food, and even in a random location, some guy's car door. The sacred honey.
I saw that one.
Yeah, that's really weird. So I was complaining to the divine, saying, "What are you doing? I need this honey. You know, I need this for my friend." So I talked to them and I said, "What do you want? Would you like some food?" And I heard in my head, pear. All right, pear, I've got pears. So I took the pear. They were on the altar already. And I said, they're already there. And the pear was there. So I thought, well, the pear's here. Would you like me to cut it for you? And I heard yes. So I cut up the pear and I left it there on a plate. And you can't leave food cut up for too long. So I left the room and I came back about 40 minutes later. And there was some honey manifested on the pear, a very small drop of honey. And that was my first sacred honey. And it was because I was meeting this friend this morning and they needed that honey. So I took some because I was like, oh my God. So I took that little drop and ate it. And I just started feeling this joy and this kind of crazy energy, like a bit joyful and crazy.
Oh my God.
And I left. I called my friend who was not in a good space and has a lot of health problems. And I said, you got to see this. And I showed them the other drop of honey. The pear was cut in 6 pieces.
You took pictures of them?
Huh?
Did you take pictures of them?
I did. The pictures are hard because it was really sunny and you can just see the glistening of the honey.
Right.
And then I ate one. And then later I took a photo of the drop for my friend. And then after that phone call, the drop evaporated. So I asked her to imagine her consuming it, and then it evaporated. I'm not joking. It's just happened. And then I had to meet with you. So it all just sort of happened this morning. But that's real evidence that when you manifest to share with others, and you're talking to your divine, and I literally said, would you like to eat something? What would you like?
You know, I want to share that you and I have talked about that. This is new. So that's amazing, the honey. I believe you. But I remember when you shared with me about the water, I was like, but I know but I know you long enough know that you don't make up stuff. But, I have that mind like you. And we are into like the miracles or the, something fantastical. But it's one thing to believe it, but it's one thing to experience it, right? So this was like a month ago or so. So now in the program we're both doing, now they're having where it's happening that they're saying to us, just put the water by the altar and ask for SOMA. This is like, what? So the first day they did that, I drank the water and I was depressed for a month. I was feeling not so great. Literally in 2 hours, my moods were up. I was like, And then something told me intuitively, take the, could you, if you have like this much water, you could put a little bit of it and mix it with regular water. That SOMA would bless it. So I started putting on my knees and my back and stuff like that. I noticed the next day I had a spring. Now it's not 100%, but it's like 75%. It just started. I just started last week. So after that, I called Angela. I talked to her. I go, there's a difference about, oh, I could believe miracle happened, but when you experience it for yourself, it's a whole different realm, whole different. And Angela understood because she was actually experiencing miracles and she was having a hard time. I believed you, but the part of my mind was like, really? And until I experienced it for myself, I was like, wow. So that's gonna bring a whole different realm. So this feel like it's fantastical for real, So thank you for sharing that. Really, oh my God, honey.
And there are more miracles that are not mine, but I'm hearing them, and people are coming to my
Well,
house and starting to get miracles.
right, because this is offer for anybody who attending the program, and eventually, again, the goal is that it be all of humanity be of this
Or
level, because
anyone who's open. And just a side note, this is how the mind works and how the divine is always loving you. So about a week ago, I was complaining like, where's my honey? I see all these other people, they get honey, they get other things. I want this, I want this, I want this. And in my mind, they told me, in my mind, I heard, you can offer the pear. This is a week ago.
and you were
1 week ago. So
oh,
okay, I'll offer the pear. But being Italian, Italians put food on the table and they go, mangia, mangia, like that, like eat. It didn't cross my mind to ask the divine, how would you like the pear? How would you like it? I never thought to go that next level of affection or care with my divine. I never thought to think about them like a person that just, not just throw the pear on the altar and think that they're going to give it to me. And this morning it just happened naturally. But a week ago, my intuition was saying, you can get the honey from the pear. But I just didn't do it in a very respectful or loving, caring way. I did it in a sort of give me soma way. So think about that when you're offering, I want this, and then have a conversation with your divine about it. How would you like to receive this offering, and ask them about that? Because that changed everything for me, that personal touch. Now the honey's manifesting, and also how the divine wants to be given their offering, or how they want to be spoken to.
so what's the program called?
It's part of the Golden Age movement. That's the group, the community,
Mm-hmm.
the spiritual community. And the program is the 74,000 Deeksha Yajna.
Mm-hmm.
And ultimately, it's to get that group focused on enlightenment. So the group together is enlightened, so that when we get enlightened, and some of them, I think about maybe 8,000-10,000 of that group are already enlightened. I don't know the numbers. We stopped counting. But once the whole group's enlightened, that will have a massive impact on the whole of humanity. It'll be like a little drop of blue color into a clear glass of water. And so we'll be able to directly help the whole of humanity by just having that 74,000 or 80,000 people. It's increasing depending on the population of the planet. But that 0.001%, I think, of the population. I haven't got my numbers right, but that amount, once they're enlightened, they'll be able to impact the consciousness of the whole of the planet Earth and have the planet Earth go through a massive shift in awakening.
And this is probably like some planetary, because the movement were not able to do that before. And it never happened when you had so many enlightenment people. And the bigger goal is that all of humanity is enlightenment. So this is something totally different for the planet Earth, where, well, that we know of, the whole planet into enlightenment. But right now, like you said, you need that little drop.
So if you're interested in helping humanity and you're passionate about growing yourself, becoming enlightened, or exploring how to become a better version of yourself, then the 74,000 Deeksha Yajna program is something I'd love you to explore. And each month you get wonderful experiences. So this is not an intellectual training. It's not about knowledge. It's the actual opposite. It's about removing yourself from any need to ever learn anything. It's very, very real. These are things that will start to transform the way you are in your life. So it's not at all intellectual. There's no information to learn, except when you start being who you are, you actually understand your own wisdom and you develop your intuition more strongly. And also you can contact Yolanda in the USA, and I'll put you in touch with David in Australia if you're in Australia and New Zealand. So you can find out how to register or find out more information or join some of the other programs so you can get some of the benefits of those moving through the program. We do meditations online, some free. We do some paid courses. So just involve yourself in your own journey with so much more joy and love and peace, and discover your own path. And the 74,000 will
And here we have Dance with Angela. So it's and here we have